Since 400 AD, the Britain was occupied by the Anglo-Saxons, and during their occupation they had organized a society, and by 900 AD they had established 4 kingdoms. The king administrated the territory by creating an oath taken by all the freemen from the age of 12 to avoid the involvement in crime. This oath made everyone responsible for their own community's safety. The hierarchy court was divided in three different groups, and they had to maintain the order. They had also created 2 laws, murder and death. The community was a rural one. In fact, most of the people depended on the land for survival, and many others were just serfs. The top level of power was occupied by the royal family, and the succession at the throne wasn't guaranteed because the Witan had the right to choose the best successor from the member and the royal family. Under the king were the heirs. The earl was the closest helper of the king. Below the earl there was the Tegn. They formed the army. The freemen were the group of people that held the land and didn't pay rent to a lord. The poorest group was made by the serfs. They had no rights and they could only work. Then the cultural and religion part. The religion was characterized by the Italian and Frankish missionaries. In fact, all the Anglo-Saxons had been converted to Christianity, and in Britain, they have built monasteries, and the monasteries were also the main center of learning. By the 11th century, almost every village had a church. Then there's the part of 1066. This was a key date for the Britain. In fact, Harold was crowned king of Britain on the 6th January of 1066, and he decided to marry the sister of 2 powerful heirs, Edwin and Morcar. Edwin and Morcar, after the marriage, agreed to defend the north by the attack of Hardada, one of the king of the Norway, but they lost in Fulford against him and Tostig Godwinson, the Harold brother. So Harold decided to fight against Hardrada while he was waiting for the Duke William invasion. So he left his station and he led his army to Stamford Bridge. In 4 days he walked over 185 miles with 15,000 soldiers, and he destroyed Hardada's army in Fulford. After this battle, Duke William decided to attack Harold, so Harold had to return back from Stamford Bridge with an exhausted army, and he decided to add to his army the feared, because a third of his army had been decimated by Hardrada. So Duke William was so advantaged from the situation. Moreover, Harold formed a strong resistance, and on 14th October of 1066, there was the Battle of Hastings. And after the death of Harold, his army was massacred, and William became the new king of Britain. William, after his victory at Hastings, introduced the feudal system, and firstly he confiscated the land from the Anglo-Saxon. Then he gave some land to the barons. The barons is a new class of person, and they had to fight for the king and to trade the knights for him. The villain instead worked on the land for the knights and the barons, and they had to pay them taxes. In 1068, when William was the king of Britain, there was a rebellion in the north led by Edwin and Morcar and Edgar, and they destroyed a 900-man army sent by William. But then they created a treaty with William, and they resolved this situation. In 1074, there was another revolt, the revolt of Anglo-Normanners, and Roger, because of Roger, he was unhappy with the amount of power he had, so he decided to start another rebellion with the support of Ralph the Guy's father, an earl who controlled the East Midlands. They didn't have the support of the Anglo-Saxon people, so they didn't achieve their ambitions. William decided to create the Domesday Book to control the land. In fact, the key function of the Domesday Book was to record the transfer possession of the land, to record the value of each estate, and to introduce a new taxation system on each estate. With this written book, William could control well all the land. Every village was controlled by a church or castle. The lord in the village could spend time in learnings how to fight, and in spare time they could hunt or collect taxes. The villains instead could cultivate the land, take care of the animal, and they had a really bad diet. So this was the new life after the introduction of the Domesday Book and when King William controlled the land and the Britain.